Hey guys, my name is James Danley. I'm a realtor and associate broker with KW Domain, the number one real estate brokerage in the state of Michigan. I sold over $42 million worth of residential real estate last year. Today, we're going to cover my top 5 favorite sold comps in the city of Birmingham for the month of July. Let's go. All right, guys, so let's get started with number 5. 827 Larchley Drive, Birmingham, Michigan. This house traded at $650,000, was built in 1950, was just under 1,700 square feet. Now, why do I like this sale? This was a great buy. For Birmingham, there's a handful of things you always want to look at, one of which is the land value. In a lot of situations, the dirt may be worth more than the house. And although this is a really great 1950s home with an attached garage, hardwood floors, great bones, the floor plan is a little bit obsolete and dated with regards to what the majority of Birmingham buyers want. So you just don't see a lot of retail buyers that are going to go in and renovate this house because even if they renovated it, it's not going to have the components that they would want and need in a home in the modern era. So this traded at $386 a foot, was listed in MLS, and you can see here it's listed as an 80-foot wide lot by 145-foot deep. Now, if we're talking about location, why is this area valuable? It's just west of downtown Birmingham. It's west of Woodward, like we've talked about before. And the lots on these streets, you have 3 streets that are very similar: South Glenhurst, Westchester Way, and Larchley Drive. And they're all larger lots, pretty good sized lots. They're not quite as big as Corton Lake, which is here to the north. Corton Lake is one of the more desirable communities in the state of Michigan. We've discussed this before because of the size of the lots there and what you can build on them. So the new construction in Corton Lake now is starting to approach, high 3s, 4 million and north of 4 million. So there's a lot of people that can't afford that product. So this area that's just south of Maple with the larger lots is getting redeveloped and is becoming much more desirable. So the reason why this is such a great buy is realistically it should have traded for more than $650. And the reason why I'm very familiar with it is I actually represented the buyer on it. So we were able to leverage a good relationship with the listing agent, act very, 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 very quickly, and get this thing under contract and closed with cash. And although the lot's listed as 80 by 145, if you check the aerial here in dimensions, both on MLS or in Oakland County Property Gateway, which will give you a better idea of the sizing of lots, you can see it's actually a 90-foot lot. Now, why is that extra 10-foot important? The difference between an 80-foot lot and a 90-foot lot in Birmingham is pretty substantial. A 90-foot lot enables you to get a side entry, 3-car attached garage on a new construction build, which is a big deal. From a 2-car front entry to a 3-car side entry changes the game. And the depth on this lot, 145 foot deep, is substantial. So a lot of times you'll see 120, 130 foot deep lots. There's not a lot of yard space left. This lot gives you the ability to do a 3-car attached garage, very large home, have room for a pool in the backyard or whatever your entertainment needs might be. And so this was probably one of the best buys in the month of July. Bought at $650 and really probably should have traded for north of $7. All right, on to number 4, my 4th favorite sale in the month of July, Birmingham, 1581 East Lincoln Street in Birmingham. This property traded at $1,299,900, essentially $1.3 million. Was new construction, just finished in 2024. There's 2,900 square feet above grade, another 1,000 square foot finished in the lower level. 2-car detached garage. It's on a 48-foot by 120 lot. It's a corner lot. And those of you that are familiar with Birmingham realize East Lincoln's a little bit of a higher traffic cut-through street. But it's in a great neighborhood. It's in the rail district, which is east of Woodward. And we've talked about that before as being developed. There's a lot of restaurants and activity going on here on South Eaton Street, and even off Lincoln here. So why do I love this? Why is this one of my favorites? So this house is actually on market for a handful of months before it traded. It was on market for since February, and I was able to actually take over the listing, and we sold it in a day. Now, why were we able to do that? What were the changes between the previous listing and us? So photography was actually a pretty big differential in this one. Like, our photographer and video guys are excellent. So when we reshot this house, I'm going to show you some photos here so you guys get a good visual on the interior. The lighting, the coloring, everything just turned out better. Like on the old photos, like the office looked like it was neon blue versus like a dark midnight blue like it was. And there's a handful of things that we did. I met with the sellers. We went through a punch list, and there was a lot of touch-ups and things that we needed to get cleaned up on the house to make it feel done, clean, move-in ready. It was post-construction. There's still a lot of construction dust, debris. The landscaping needed cleaned up. We needed a lot of small punch list items done, like paint and other things. And on new construction, it's tough to get all those fine details tuned in. But we walked through the entire house together, made a full punch list, had these guys pull it off market for 30 days, which reset the listing to 0 days on market, so it looked like it was a new listing. And we also did a price adjustment. So the key like 3 things that we did were we pulled the listing, reset it. We did a full punch list on the interior, buttoned everything up to where it looked perfect. And then we analyzed all the comparables. So before, they were priced just under $1.4 million on this house. And with it being on that higher traffic road, what it was doing is it was helping all the comparable homes around it sell. So there were like 3 or 4 other homes in the neighborhood that sold because this one was slightly overpriced. So we did a price reduction of $100,000. We got it down to $1.3 million, just under 1.3 instead of 1.4. Cleaned it up. Did a better job with photography and video, got it listed, pushed it out, negotiated the deal, and sold it in a day for full price. So it's a testament to how important it is to price your product correctly, make sure it's positioned and cleaned up correctly, and then have the correct representation in the market you're in. So this is a great sale. Again, to recap the facts, sold for just under $1.3 million, 2,900 square feet, sold for $446 a square foot. New construction on East Lincoln in the Real District. Number 3, 157 East Frank Street. So this property was built originally in 1985, was fully renovated in 2024. It's 2,681 square feet, no basement. So this is a home that's built on a slab. Now, why is it so unique and so special? You'll notice here it was listed at $1,089,900, and they got a bidding war on this house. It sold for $1.325. Good friend and buddy of mine actually was the one that was handling this deal, and they were able to create a bidding war on this house for a couple of factors we're going to talk about. So, first of which is the location. So, location on this property is phenomenal. It's right in downtown Birmingham. So, right here is the main downtown strip. This is Barnum Park, which is arguably the most desirable park in Birmingham because of the location and the amenities of the park. And right here in Southwold Woodward, you have all the best restaurants and like dining and tons of great options. Phoenicia's right here. You've got chiropractors and hair salons and everything you want on this strip. You're literally 2 streets away, and this property is facing the park. So what's cool about this is the buyer just bought it a few years ago. They actually bought this for $638,520 in 2020. So they bought it 4 years ago. Here's what it looked like before when they bought it. The house was designed in the 80s facing the park, so it's right on the park. So the front of the house is all the views. They did a great job with the design and flow. Pretty open concept in the 80s, but it's mostly original when it traded. So they bought this on market with mostly original 80s interior, as you can see, and they gutted it, completely renovated it, and did a great job on the finished product. So it's unique because, one, it's only a 2-bedroom house. It's literally 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths, and a powder room. And has no basement. Usually those would be huge detriments, but because of the location on this one, again, real estate location, and the interior design and build-out quality, they absolutely knocked out of the park. There's a lot of downsizing buyers that want to be in town, that want to walk to everything, and this house has all that they would need with 2 bedrooms, an office, and the views of Barnum Park. So you can take a look at the interior here. I mean, they gutted the entire interior of this house, built a great bar in the middle, nice open great room with the dining, kitchen, family room, all focused on the park. Really good job on the contemporary kitchen that they designed in the interior. House also has an attached garage on the back end. To have an attached garage in town is a pretty big deal. Great second floor master suite with views overlooking the park. Huge walk-in dressing room and bathroom in the master. They did a great job gutting that space and renovating it, reconfiguring it. And then you've got an awesome second floor walkout patio here overlooking the park. So it's just an incredibly well-designed product, great renovation on the interior. And when you've got that right location, it's move-in ready, it's walkable, even with only 2 bedrooms and no basement. Sometimes you can create a bidding war and get a premium. So 157 East Frank Street, listed at just under $1.1 million, traded at 1,325, 2 beds, 2.5 baths, 2,700 square feet ish, just under. Sold for just under $500 a square foot, $495. Phenomenal sale. Love that one. What a great piece of real estate. And on to number 2. 574 Westchester Way. Was listed at just under $2 million, $1,999,900. Was on market for about 30 days. Traded for $1,955,500. It's 3,850 square feet ish, built in 2018. It's on a 60 by 120 lot and traded for $508 a square foot. So why do I like this sale? One, I'm very familiar with the house. I actually sold the builder this lot and consulted and was involved in the original design and build when it was sold the first time. But this is the location we talked about earlier in the video that is just south of Cortland Lake Estates. It's one street over from that largely build site we talked about earlier, which, if you remember, was a 90 by 145 lot. This is actually only a 60 by 120 lot. So on the west side of Westchester, the lots are shallower. They're not as deep as the east side. So not a lot of depth on this lot, but it's wide enough with 60 foot to get a 2-car front entry attached garage that's fully functional and usable. And it's a great floor plan. So this house was built by Lynch Custom Homes, was designed by Jeffrey King Interiors, and Perspectives did all the custom cabinetry in the house. It's a great layout. You've got your 2-car attached garage on the right. You walk in, you've got a really nice formal office or study to the left. Clear line of sight through the house. You've got symmetrical coat closets there as soon as you walk in the front door. You have a clean, nice, open, great room on the back of the house. So it's kitchen, dining, family room, tons of natural light. The custom cabinetry from Perspectives is great. All looks like built-in pieces of furniture, the way they design and structure everything with a nice prep kitchen off to the side there. And having that 2-car front entry attached garage leaves your entire backyard open and free for use. And even though it's not that deep of a lot, it's still nice to have that yard space compared to a lot of the other smaller lots in Birmingham. There's the study up front, nice mud room and drop zone. You got a beautiful formal powder. And then the ceiling heights on this house were excellent as well. 10 foot on the first floor, 9 foot on the second floor. That makes the space feel bigger. It feels much larger than it is. Probably feels more like 4,500 square foot instead of 38. So the master suite here was fantastic. Huge dramatic bathroom. Excellent natural light throughout the entire house. Perfect symmetry everywhere you go. Gorgeous dressing room. And this was actually... the previous owner was one of our famed Lions players, Panay Sewell, who's done a great job. He signed a big contract, decided to upgrade houses and move, and decided to sell this. But what a beautiful property it was, and was a pretty good buy for the quality of product, the floor plan. It's got a finished lower level. Everything combined, it was a great purchase, great sale, really good house on a fantastic street, and really good value for under $2 million in Birmingham. All right, guys, on to my favorite sale in the month of July, 888 Purdy Street, Birmingham, Michigan. I don't just love it because it has a beautiful number. There's a lot of reasons to like this sale. So let's go through the data really fast, and we'll talk about why I love it so much. So this property was listed at $2.195 million, sold in 11 days on market for $2.140. It's 3,705 square foot above grade, another 1,200 square foot of finished space in the basement. It's only a 3-bedroom house above grade. 3 bedrooms, 4.5 baths. Originally built in 1989, was completely gutted in 2022. And so let's talk a little bit about why I love this. The location, again, it's phenomenal. We just talked about that sale on East Frank. This is in the same area. It's one street over. Doesn't face the park, backs the park, but it's right nestled in that downtown Birmingham location. AAA from a lifestyle, walkability perspective. Another interesting thing, this property's traded 3 times in the last 3 years, and I actually almost bought it back in 2020 or 2021 was first listed. So it was 21. So in June of 21, this house was on market for a while and was completely dated. Needed a renovation done on it. The floor plan was a little different, was only 3 bedrooms above grade, and it needed a renovation pretty badly, as you can see here. Kitchen cabinetry didn't really fit like the modern design of the exterior of the house, had more traditional feel on the interior. And the floor plan was a little funky with the master and some of the finishes. So this was a great buy, rehab, and flip. And unfortunately, I didn't snag it fast enough. So it traded for $882,521. They gutted it, renovated it, and then sold it in 22. So it was a year flip. They sold it for $185,000. They probably had $600K or so into the renovation, and then those owners bought it, lived in it for 2 years, and just sold it for $214,000. They did a great job on the interior of this house, renovating it. It's in a great location, brick paver, patio and driveway, but the interior has completely been opened up. So you have that fireplace, nice formal grand entrance with a staircase up front, formal powder room, tons of transom windows and really good natural light in this house. Clean open floor plan on the back, and they did a great job, as you can see, gutting that traditional kitchen, converting it, making it more modern, and then combining the family dining room space all into one nice open great room. It's in downtown. It's on a 50-foot lot. So it's kind of narrow, but the lot was deep enough back in the 80s. They had different build restrictions. They were able to attach a rear side entry garage, which is not always the most ideal because it cuts off access to the yard. But in this situation, it's close enough to the park that buyers are going to overlook that if they want to be in town and have an attached garage. Great pantry space. Good job on the interior design and finish. And the second floor, they did a great job on the master. They gutted the master suite, integrated their office spaces into the master since there's no office on the first floor. Not ideal, but the space was big enough. It worked out pretty well. Huge master bath and really nice master closet space as well. And they custom designed and rebuilt every aspect of this house. They did a great job. And so again, it goes to essentially testify to the fact that location's extremely important in Birmingham. And as the demand increases for downtown walkable housing stock, these homes tend to out-appreciate other pieces of property that are further from downtown. So even though it only traded for, $1.9 million a couple years ago, now it's trading for just under 2.2, and it's the same house. Again, my name is James Danley. Thanks for stopping by today. These are my top favorite sales in the month of July. Please feel free to leave your comments below for additional content you guys would like to see. And if you have any questions or thoughts regarding real estate, feel free to reach out. My number is 248-671-3092. And we live, work, sell, Birmingham.